Hello, good morning, good evening, good night. We've got a special treat for you today. Thanks to one Kalel Prime from the MOONBASE 2 and a super spectacular mystery guest. For this is an interview with none other than the legend of 80s inspirational rock himself, Mr. Stan Bush. Thanks to Stan for putting up with our witterings and questions. You legend. Now, with no further ado, let's move into the Old Moon OLDBASE 2 interview Stan Bush. Take it away, Dave. Take it away.
Welcome to MOONBASE 2.
Dream the dream, live like you never lived, don't ever be afraid. Nothing stands in your way. If you believe, life is there waiting for your moment to be free. If you'll only dare to dream the dream.
Hello and welcome to the MOONBASE 2 podcast. I am your host, David aka Kalel Prime, and I want to welcome you to a very special edition of the MOONBASE 2 podcast, because it is not just the MOONBASE 2 podcast. I am happy to announce that we are doing this very special interview in collaboration with very good friends of ours. If you were at AA, they would be the Wild Men with the long hair and the, well, in some cases long hair, sometimes no hair, which, Andy, you know, so I just want to welcome Adam from Grufflock from the Old Oil House. Hello, sir.
Hello, good morning, good evening, good night. My pants are tight and I'm ready to rock.
Yes, because we're going to be interviewing Stan. However, dude, we're not interviewing him alone because
We're not?
no, we're not. We've got a wingman. We've got a third wingman, and I am very excited because what this is, because it's your podcast and our podcast combining. We need somebody who is as equally as great as those two powers combined. So, for the first time ever, we are going to have a Transformer celebrity interview a Transformer celebrity.
What? Who? What?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Nick Roche.
Hey, you guys! Are you guys talking to Stan Bush tonight? Listen, can I talk to Stan Bush? I love Stan Bush. Can I talk to Stan Bush with you guys?
We may have made a bad choice, Adam.
I really like Stan Bush. He's the best. He's the best at singing the robot songs. Can I talk to Stan Bush, please?
Oh,
There's an interesting block button that we could use just right about
Are you
now.
Stan Bush? Are you Stan Bush now?
yeah.
Stan Bush! Stan Bush, which robot did you like singing about the most? Stan Bush.
Hot Rod, just to make you happy.
Hot Rod has flames on his belly. I like him very, very much. Thank you, Stan. Bye, Stan!
Oh, this is why I never want to work.
Are you talking to Vince DiCola today? Vince DiCola, which minor chord was your favourite chord to play when the robots were on the television?
Oh, God. Oh, Chris McFeely isn't as hard to work with as this. Oh, jeez. Nick, welcome. Nick?
Vince?
No, it's I think we just need to get into the interview. I don't think we could salvage this one. To the interview.
We're not Yankovic!
All right, everybody. So it is our absolute pleasure to welcome to the podcast a man who needs no introduction, but I'm going to do the best one I possibly can. He is an Emmy Award winner singer-songwriter. He's released 10 studio albums, with his 11th coming out next month. He's had songs featured at the Olympic Games, and in 2007, Rock United listed his latest album, In This Life, as the album of the year. It is, of course, because you will all know him as the man who brought us the absolutely awesome Transformers the movie soundtrack featuring The Touch and Dare. It is the legendary Stan Bush. Stan, welcome to the podcast.
Wow, what a great introduction. How's it going?
Very, very well. In case you didn't realize, we're talking to you. So life couldn't be better at the moment.
Well, it's my pleasure.
So what we'll do is we'll start, as we always do with these interviews, we'll start with the most obvious question For anybody out there who maybe is brand new to Transformers as of say yesterday, and doesn't know who Stan Bush is, tell us in your own words, who is Stan Bush?
Well, like you mentioned, I'm probably best known for my song "The Touch" from the original Transformers movie, and Dare as well. So it's kind of it turned into a sort of a cult following with a whole phenomenon with the Transformers, even before the live action movies. And of course, a lot of people in Europe and around the world know me for much more than that. But I guess it's good to be known for something.
Sorry, I was just a little bit just listening to you there. How did you get started in the entire music industry?
Well, let's see. I grew up in Florida, and as a kid and all through school, I played in bands, and so we would play in nightclubs and dances and things. And so once I got out of school and everything, I went on the road and did nightclubs throughout the South. And later, I joined a recording group in Colorado, and we. That band, after a couple of years in Colorado, we got signed and came to L.A. And that was a band called Boulder, and then we had one album on. It came out on Elektra Records, and then that band broke up after one album, and then I sort of went solo after that. I did one album for CBS Records, my first album, and then the second album, which was a couple of years after that, was with Scotty Brothers Epic. And that's the one with The Touch. And from there, the song got in the movie. And there was another song that was in another film as well, Heart versus Head, that was in the movie with Charlie Sheen called The Wraith. It's kind of an obscure movie. But anyway, after that, I've just kept on making records and still doing it.
Stan, I'm really, really big fan of the first Barrage album. It's great, and Heart versus Head is a corker of a track. It's probably one of my favorite albums that you've done. How do you feel about that first Boulder album though that you did? How do you does it ever show up ever, or have you managed to sort of hide every copy of it, or are you still proud of it, or?
Well, it's one of those things where the band, we were kind of naive. We had done a lot of recording. I think we were trying to be, to do sort of a more progressive thing. We were a little slightly jazzy and a different kind of a band. And then when we came to LA, we were so sort of overwhelmed by everything. The producer we had didn't really, I don't think he really got what we were trying to do. And the typical sort of thing, the album, it came out okay, but it wasn't. It was sort of a non-event. It didn't really do much. Part of the thing was political too.
Was it similar at all to Barrage or any of your later stuff, or you said it was quite jazzy? So
no,
it was
not really.
No, okay.
It's got some rocking tracks on it, but it's sort of a lot more middle of the road or something, I think.
Okay, yeah. Well, I've got a Barrage. I've got a Barrage-related question. Who are Barrage? You've recorded with them since on Heaven during the 90s. Are they a band that you sort of kind of gather around you as you need to, or?
Well, it was sort of just some guys that we got together and took a picture.
They're just some guys.
It wasn't really. It was the idea was to sort of portray a band image. As instead of just a solo artist, and
right, okay.
It was, but it was kind of a band. Like two of the guys went with me on the road. We, we did the tours in Europe and things back in the early '90s, and actually the late '80s as well, opening for Lou Gramm in Germany and everything. So it wasn't really a band per se, but it was sort of more of a, here's a band picture, and
I like it. That's the best kind of band. They don't argue with the lead singer, that kind of band. So yeah.
Yeah. Instant band, just add water.
Yeah, I like your style. Yeah. And so the same with the with Heaven then in the 90s. Was it as you say? Did you just reuse that band photograph and record a kind of a solo album and call it a band album?
Well, Sort of. I mean, although, like I say, a couple of the guys were involved in playing on those songs, so on some of those tracks, and a lot of that stuff on the Heaven album was recorded during or right after that time. So Heaven was sort of a collection of older tracks, that had been recorded at different times and places, and so it was a sort of a collection of things.
I see, yeah. I mean, I've got to say again, like your Barrage stuff, and now I know it's kind of basically just you going solo, but with a photograph. I feel okay about saying this, but your Barrage stuff is I think some of your strongest stuff. It's I think Joanna and Heaven from the album Heaven are just some of your best stuff. And anyone who hasn't heard those tracks, they need to go and download them or track them down. So if you like any of Stan's other stuff,
Yeah, I need to get that album out in the States. I'm gonna be doing that. It's I've just been so overwhelmed with everything going on, working on getting the new album released and everything. So, but thanks. Yeah, I still think that album is great, the Barrage one.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Joanna is a brilliant song. Anyone who doesn't own it, that song is a fool. That's my opinion of them anyway. So yeah.
Oh, Joanna. Yeah.
Joanna. Yeah, it's a great song. Yeah.
Couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah, there you go. We're all agreed on Joanna. Hooray!
Oh yeah.
Could I jump forward, please, Stan, to 1994, and to a question that has sat in my head since about 1994? Your Dial 818-888-8638 album, and I'm fairly sure you know where this question's going. Is there a reason for the number?
Well, it was an idea. I had these two guys that were kind of managing me back then, and it was sort of an idea of putting a fan line, a phone line, that would be so fans could call in and hear a message from me and so forth, and we would update, change the message, kind of a little bit of ahead of its time maybe, because now there's so much interaction between the fans on the internet and everything. But at any rate, so there was an actual phone number at one point, so that was the idea behind that.
And pardon me, as I'm certain you're expecting me to ask now, has anyone ever rang it, to your knowledge?
Well, yeah, there were calls for a while there, and I had the phone line. I had that in my house.
What?
For a while, and I had a message on there.
What did the message say? Yeah. What did the message say?
I forget. It was something from me, just hey, thanks for calling or whatever. This is Stan Bush, blah blah blah. I forget what I said.
Now. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm ringing that number tonight. I don't care who answers it. I'm going to try
it. I'll race you for it, Nick. I'll race you for it. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, that's the follow-up for this chat. We're going to find out who is at that number right now.
Oh, okay. They'll probably hate me.
Well, it's Well, if they ask, we'll just say Stan sent us. So.
Stan sent us, obviously.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Don't ask any questions. Stan sent us. Shh.
Sorry, Adam. Were you going to go ahead? Sorry.
Well, I was just going to just quickly bounce along a little bit, and just quickly ask. I know that we're moving forward a fair few albums here. But you, as Dave said in your intro there, you're actually a Emmy Award winner.
Yeah, in 1996, I had a song that was in the popular American soap at the time, The Guiding Light. The song was Till I Was Loved by You. Anyway, there was a beloved couple in the show, and they got married. It was a very pivotal moment in the story, and they played the entire song with no dialogue for this wedding scene, and it was a really kind of a big moment. And anyway, we got nominated for an Emmy, and we actually won. So it was quite a year. And that nice same year was sorry.
I said nice work. I mean, yeah. What happens when you win an Emmy, Stan? Like, how does life change when you win an Emmy?
Well, it's one of those things that's sort of a life achievement thing and all that. I don't know that there's a credibility thing there, and your phone doesn't immediately start ringing off the hook or anything, though. It's not
Sure,
like that.
but you can get a few more phone calls though than maybe you had last week once you got the Emmy, that sort of thing.
I guess so.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
But yeah, that same year was when the Olympics happened in '96, and my song "Capture the Dream" was featured in the Olympics. So that was a very cool thing. They when the U.S. swim team won all the gold medals, they had put together, NBC had put together a collage of footage from that, and so the song, "Capture the Dream" was very uplifting. So,
Stan, what is it about your stuff do you think that lends itself so well to the visual medium? I mean, you've had songs feature in TV shows, and obviously it accompanies. You can imagine your stuff to these massive sporting events, and being in all these movies. What is it about your stuff do you think that works so well with film?
I'm not sure. Part of it, I think, well, the '80s stuff was like the very, anthemic, big, memorable chorus, like The Touch and like other songs where, like Eye of the Tiger kind of thing, where it's here's the chorus, and it tells the story and it helps.
Yeah.
And also, I've always been told I have a very commercial voice. I used to sing a lot of jingles. I was the voice for Toyota trucks and Coors beer and all these sort of things. And
really?
I made a pretty good amount of money doing that.
I'm sure you did. Yeah, absolutely. That's where the money is. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's just one of those things. I guess my and as far as the movies and things, like the first two Jean-Claude Van Damme movies had sang 3 songs each in those Bloodsport and Kickboxer movies, and then of course The Touch in the Transformers movie, and then later in Boogie Nights, and then there were other various things like TV shows recently have been airing, like Chuck on NBC. They aired The Touch. It was, I guess, a year and a half ago or something. And then recently on American Dad, which is on Fox. It's an animated show. And then
we know American Dad. Yeah. Stan, the Touch was used last week on the UK Big Brother for one of the housemates leaving the house. Yeah, genuinely. So you've got that royalty check coming your way soon. So yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know about it.
Yeah, and it gets like about 4 or 5 million viewers. It was the final night of Big Brother, so plenty of people heard The Touch last week over in the UK anyway. So yeah.
Wow, is that the show that's on here too?
Yeah, it's the same.
Big
people
Brother.
Locked in a house, people who you are quite happy they're locked in a house, but you wouldn't like to be in a house with them. Though that thing, yeah.
Yeah. No, I didn't even know about that. I'll have to phone my co-writer and mention
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah.
Very cool.
As you were saying there that a lot of your music turns up as inspirational music in various formats. Where does their inspiration come for your brand of music, your pump the air, inspirational,
motivational,
go for it, motivational, that go for it sound that you've got, that aim for the top no matter what the cost is, just go for it.
Well, I know I get asked that quite a bit. It's sort of I think it all started with The Touch. It's sort of become a trademark for me almost. I don't know, just go for it and believe in yourself. I think those songs like The Touch and Dare, I got a lot of fan mail over the years where people said those songs really made a difference somehow in their life, and it's just a very cool thing. I don't know, the last couple of albums, I still have a few songs in that sort of direction where, hey, you can sort of make your own reality, and I think we as humans we don't realize how powerful we are, but we really do have an amazing amount of power. We can you sort of you make your own reality, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Stan, do you find that you can bring that back into your everyday life then? Do you find that sort of either singing it makes you believe it and that feeds back into your life, or the way you live your life anyway makes you sing these songs? Is there any sort of correlation there?
Yeah, chicken or the egg, I guess. Well, yeah, there is an absolute. I absolutely believe that. I mean, I know you hear motivational speakers say this kind of thing, but you sort of live a certain way and stay focused on what you want, and you'll sort of get there. It's. I mean, a lot of people obviously have challenges they face in life, but I don't know. It's just one of those things. It's kind of worked out for me that way, where, okay, maybe I haven't made $1 zillion and all that sort of thing, but I feel like I'm, doing something right, and I guess that's the main thing.
Well, that's cool, because I mean, I know your stuff makes definitely us three, and probably all the people listening to this podcast, I'm sure they're familiar with the stuff, and you've definitely made them feel that way, Stan. So it's nice to hear that it feeds back to you too. That's cool.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting one, because just music is such a powerful thing, but also quite a divisive thing as well. Something you like will not necessarily be, but your stuff is always kind of one of those things I always find, where if I'm walking somewhere or something like that, and The Touch will come on, or Dare, or Gates of Paradise, or something like that. It's always one of those things that just kind of even after listening to these songs thousands of times, never fails to just like perk me up, make you smile or something like that. So I guess from us, like, thank you for creating something, especially now when music is so anger this and hatred that sort of thing.
Yeah, you're right. There's a lot of negativity out there. But yeah, thank you. It really means a lot to hear that kind of thing. You know what I mean. We all try to do the best we can, but thank you.
Oh, pardon me. It is, though. It's stuff like The Touch is. It is music that gets you going. The Touch, Dare. It is all music that I have used many a time to get me going in the morning, and
me too, absolutely.
Get yourself traveling. And so, as Dave says, we do have to thank you for creating these amazing songs that have lasted the test of time.
Yeah, just on your thingy there, Adam, of just like music, get up and go. It just so happens that The Touch is my alarm clock.
Well, there we go.
That's great.
Actually, Stan, I was at BotCon 2009, and I had a chance to have a quick chat with you, and that was lovely, and you're a very lovely man. But that was the year that Guitar Hero came out, and so The Touch was being played, I think you quite remember, quite frequently in that room. And, speaking to you, even you were saying, sometimes, it can even, you can get so much of The Touch. But on that note, I watched a clip of you on YouTube this week playing The Touch acoustically on a guitar to like people in a bar. And it's just a sign of a good song, man, when, you can get rid of all the robots and you can get rid of all the production and all the bombast. And it's just a guy with his guitar. And it's like hearing that song again for the first time. And that's just a sign of a good song. So, you're very welcome, Stan. I mean, I'm a big fan of your other stuff, as I say, but you can't knock The Touch. It's a great achievement. So,
Well, thanks.
As we were just mentioning modern music, which current modern bands and things are you currently into?
Well, honestly, I've been so focused and on finishing this album and then getting all the other stuff together. I mean, I've basically, I haven't really been out listening to new music, and so I don't really have anything to say on that. Sorry.
Stan, though, I'm
okay.
sorry. Of course, it's fine.
Go.
Okay, I was going to say, Stan, but have you found, though, maybe as a performer or when you're at gigging, that there seems to be a bit of a resurgence in your brand of music, your brand of melodic rock, and you kind of see it through like Glee or even American Idol or even like Guitar Hero, that there seems to be more of an acceptance for this kind of anthemic, melody-driven, chorus-driven sort of music. Is that something you've noticed? Do you think that is out there?
Yeah, I have noticed that. It's a resurgence, and not just the old songs either.
No.
Even some of the newer things. It's sort of the style of the 80s has been sort of on the resurgence. It's coming back, and it's really cool because I love that kind of music. It's like, here's the chorus, boom,
Yeah,
it's just where the chorus sort of explodes, and, and you walk out of the movie or whatever it is where you hear it, you remember it. It sticks with you. And I think that's something I kind of missed with all a lot of the things that have been out in the last couple of several years. It's been sort of more subtle and more not as memorable.
I think
perhaps.
People seem to think it's okay to be positive in singing at the moment. I know, like as Dave was saying, that there has been negativity, but in stuff, even like High School Musical, it's okay to have a big chorus and throw your hands in the air and have a good time, and it's kind of good to see it back. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, obviously we are a Transformers podcast, and they were obviously inevitably going to rear their head at some point. 1985, 1986, Transformers, the movie, sort of in development and things like that. Where did you come on board, and were you brought on board because you'd recorded the songs, or were you brought on board to record new material? And that's just, can you take us through the process of your relationship with that movie?
You're talking about the live action Transformers or the animated?
The animated one, yeah, because the good one, the good.
Well, yeah. Well, actually, Lenny Macaluso, my co-writer, we wrote the touch originally for Sylvester Stallone movie Cobra, and
wow.
we were the record label. Instead of getting it in that movie, they said, well, we got it in this movie, The Transformers. So we found out it was in an animated movie about robots, and we were like, what? But anyway, little did we know it was going to become a big phenomenon, and have all these fans all over the world. It's turned into quite a neat thing. I love going to the conventions. The fans are great. The people love the music, and it's just a real positive experience.
I was going to say that must have been, just a bit of a pill to swallow, I imagine, because this is obviously mid-'80s Sylvester Stallone after Rocky, sort of big.
Yeah,
movie,
he was at his peak then. And,
as opposed to
so
live-action movie about toys.
Yeah, yeah, it turned into quite a thing, quite a good thing. I remember at the time thinking, if only Transformers were as big as Ninja Turtles, remember them? But it turned out that, now Transformers are much bigger than,
Yeah.
It's sort of one
But
of those things.
to be honest, Transformers are bigger than Sylvester Stallone now, so it's kind of...
Yeah.
Yeah. As was proven at the box office. I don't think The Expendables is like...
Oh, yeah, I want to see that movie. I heard it was good.
I want to see it too, yeah.
I think I'm going tomorrow, so I'll let you all know.
Good stuff.
Oh, okay.
I'll meet everyone back here tomorrow night for a chat about The Expendables.
So the first Expendables podcast.
I tell you what, if it's a simple podcast about the Expendables, it's a hell of a cast we've pulled together. Nick Roche, artist; Stan Bush, musician; me and you, Adam.
Yeah, Stan Bush is Stallone, and I get to be Jason Statham. I think I can live with that. That's pretty good.
Jason Statham.
Yeah, just going back to getting on board for the movie soundtrack then, what was the story with you recording Dare with Vince? He had demoed it previously, and then were you asked in by, was it the record company or the movie producers to sing on that?
It was the record company. They Vince was doing the score for the Transformers, and they just brought me in to sing Dare. I didn't write that one, so
yeah.
But yeah. So they put my voice on that, and it was very cool. Vince is really talented. I really like Vince. He's a good friend, and we've been writing a couple things over the years. We keep in touch.
What was the working relationship like? Was it how has your working relationship been with Vince DiCola?
Well, like I say, mainly we've gotten together. We went to one of the early Transformers conventions. It was BotCon in Rochester, New York, in '97, and we performed there together. So, and then again in the '09, we did the concert together at Paramount Studios.
I was there for that, man. That was unbelievable.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that was last summer. So yeah, we're and we keep in touch. We're friends. And Vince is extremely talented guy.
It's great. It's great.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I kind of want to ask this question, and I don't know what the best way is to put it, but do you ever get a sense of, especially with the Transformers community, it's the touch, Dare, and then there's Till All Are One, sort of Ground Zero and things like that. Do you ever get, like, not to put you on the spot, and I don't want you to think I'm putting words in your mouth, but do you ever sort of get a little bit maybe not jaded's the right word, but a little bit frustrated. That seems to be the thing that they always talk about is sort of those three songs when you've done great songs on countless albums and things like that.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, it's part of the thing. It's when you're known for one or two songs, everybody sort of thinks of you that way. I guess it's the same as an actor playing a part where he does one particular role and everybody thinks of him as that character. Yeah, it's not really frustrating. I mean, I think in a way it's kind of fun because the website can have the other music posted on there, and people can say, wow, this guy sings some great songs. It's like and they're not about robots. So it's nice to be known for something, but I think it's one of those things that just takes time. Like, for instance, with you mentioned Till All Are One, that's in the new Transformers game, Transformers War for Cybertron, which just came out in June. So there are a lot of kids all over the world now that have that game that are hearing that song for the first time, and they. I'm sure some of them are like, wow, this guy's good. And so, maybe they go on the website and they listen to some of the other things. And these are probably kids, too. They're not, older fans like a lot of the other ones who know my music, And so it's kind of cool. In a way, you sort of reach a new generation of kids and by keeping out there. It is really cool also that the War for Cybertron is using something current. It's sort of it's not just the touch. It's
a new theme for a new generation.
And it's new, new, and all that. So it's all good.
We could just talk about Ground Zero and Till All Are One for just a second, because Ground Zero you did for BotCon 1997.
Yes.
And then, obviously, that then got sort of reworded and things like that, and re-released as Till All Are One. Now, I think it's fairly obvious as to why that transition happened. But what was the inspiration for taking that as opposed to leaving it as it was? Why did you feel the need to revisit that?
Well, yeah. I always thought it was a great song, and. Obviously after the 9/11 thing, the term Ground Zero became useless as a song title. It has a whole different connotation now since the September 11th thing. But yeah, I knew that was a great song and that I had that song, and I wanted to write something very strong and powerful for to possibly submit for consideration for the Transformers movie. So that was the whole thing behind that. We built up this big track and all, and I think it's got like 70-something tracks. It's huge. And
wow.
The Transformers, like I say, it didn't get in the Transformers movie, obviously, but the game has picked it up. So that was really great. So it turned out
okay,
to be
Stan.
worth it in the end.
There's lots of cool things didn't make it into the Transformers movie, like Transformers.
Well, that's just it.
So
yeah.
it's cool.
It's very it's a big. These are big deals where the Warner Brothers Records has the soundtrack rights, and they pay millions of dollars to the movie studios for those rights, and so they want to put their own acts out, on those soundtracks. So that's why they have Linkin Park and Goo Goo Dolls and all that. Mm-hmm. So it's just it's just the way it is. It's economic reality, I suppose. But anyway, as far as the touch was going to be in the original Transformers movie, and it was slated to be in there, and then they I don't know what happened exactly, but I guess Michael Bay pulled the song a couple weeks before the movie came out. I never really found out why, but
was
anyway,
it really that close, Stan? Was it?
Sorry.
Was it really that close to production that you kind of you thought you were in?
Oh yeah, no, we had gotten the paperwork and everything. It was a done deal. It was just
ouch.
One of those things, at the last minute. And it was it would have been a really nice thing to do for the fans, because that song is still considered the anthem for the Transformers. The whole Transformers thing is the touch, is the Transformers. It's just they're synonymous. Anyway, it's just one of those things. I'm still very happy to be associated with the brand, and like I say, to me, the fans are what's important anyway.
Good stuff.
Adam?
Yeah, I do have a quick question for you, Stan, and I hope that you're not going to shout at me afterwards. The 2007 version of the Touch. How did you take the reaction to that? You got a lot of people going, "Yeah, this is awesome," but some other people didn't quite seem to see what you were trying to do with it.
Are you thinking about the Sam's theme version, the
Yes,
the 09?
yes, yeah.
Right.
Sorry, I said 07. My apologies.
Yes.
No,
God, Adam.
no, it was okay.
I'm sorry.
I think what threw a lot of people off was when we were doing a sort of a modern, totally different music kind of approach, maybe a little bit influenced by a Linkin Park kind of thing or whatever. And
Yep.
I think what really threw people off the most was having a rap section in there. So we've edited that out. You'll be pleased to know. So there's no longer a rap section. It just goes straight into the pre-chorus. So from the verse, and it works great, and everybody's much happier with that. And again, it's just one of those things. You try things, and sometimes they work, and sometimes they don't. It's just part
of course.
Part of the business. Yeah.
You never know what's going to work until you've tried it at least once, do you? So
That's right.
I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed the vocal part, shall we say? I will admit, I'm sorry to admit it, the rap bits did throw me, but the vocals were absolutely superb. I love the vocals.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's one of those things. It's like it's a really cool melody. The chorus is like, wow, it's just like this, curveball. It just totally.
It does stay in your head. To
musically,
be honest, I mean, after listening to the sampler of your new album, that has wound its way around my ear. So it's.
Yeah, it
It's
grows
just got
on
this-
you for sure. And but it's pretty cool. That's on the new album, of course, and there's a YouTube video. People can go to the website, and check that stuff out too. And I have a YouTube channel now, and actually
you are labeled as Stan Bush on YouTube, yeah?
Yeah, stanbush.com, and actually until probably another week, that website is undergoing renovation, so to get the new stuff up. But at the moment, if people want to go to larecords.com, the new album is on there, and there's a link to the YouTube channel and everything. So larecords.com, and in fact, if people, I just throw this out, a little plug, but if people buy the new album on the 15th, September 15th, on that day, they'll get it autographed as well.
Ho 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 ho!
Consider that done.
So that's LA
And is there just because obviously all of us are kind of like, right, I know where I'm going to be on the 15th. Just to clarify, that is there any restrictions on that in terms of location and
Nope,
things?
nope.
Excellent, good.
No.
Well, better get that arm ready, Stan, because there's going to be a lot of signing going on.
Already on the website, already waiting to go.
Now,
Here's a quick question about the new album, Stan. So what's currently wound its way around your ear from the new album? What sort of tracks should we be looking out for?
Well, I've been getting a lot of responses from various people. The title song has gotten a lot of acclaim. The Dream the Dream, people love that one, and of course Sam's theme, The Touch. And some of the other songs that people like a lot are Love is the Road, and let's see, I'm Still Here is a good one, and the opener too, Never Hold Back. So it's really, the whole album flows really well, and I'm very happy with it. We spent like a year and a half writing and recording it. You had mentioned, the In This Life album got Album of the Year in 2007, and so I knew we had to work hard to try and top that, or at least come close. So I think
it's a really good
I think
album
we
as
have
well
a
in this life, Stan. It's a top album.
Thank you.
Know, so, yeah.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I love that one. And anyway, so it was a lot of work, but I think we have another winner.
I'm sure you absolutely do. A couple of questions about the new album actually is just, you know, in terms of the writing process that you go through. Obviously, as a musician, you're a guitarist. How do you approach song making? Do you find, especially with this new album, is it a, you know, you've said you collaborate on a couple of songs, but is it you'll just have an idea for a chord or a chorus in your head or something, or is it just sort of catchy?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's I always sit down with the acoustic guitar and just I'll just bang on the acoustic for long hours, just trying to come up with something that I think is catchy, whether it's just a melody or a couple of chords that work, and you get anyway when something really grabs you, and you think, oh, this is great, and then once you get a melody in your head that you like and everything, then sometimes a song title will emerge, and then after that, then you can sort of write the rest of the song, and you know what I mean. And then the lyrics sort of support the chorus or the title, and it's kind of it doesn't always go that way, but that's generally sort of the procedure. But it's one of those things where sometimes it'll come together quickly, and sometimes it takes weeks and weeks to get a great song together. It's one of those things where it's not always one way or the other.
Are you personally a melody man over a lyrics stan, or are you an all-rounder, do you feel, or?
Well, I think I've gotten more lyrical. I've read quite a bit. The last 10 years or so, I've probably read more each year than I've read in my whole life before that. It's one of those things I read almost constantly, and it's really helped my lyric writing. I think the early days, if anything, I would give up too soon on lyrics.
Right. Okay.
You have to just keep working and refining, and but yeah, I've always been sort of more of a melody person, a melody guy than a lyricist. But I'm getting better at both, I think.
Adam,
to jump back into your various albums and things that you've put out, you've managed to work with people like Tim Pierce and Jonathan Cain from Journey, Paul Stanley from Kiss. How's that been, ending it with collaborating your songs with these massive giants of the music world?
Well, it was quite amazing. Jonathan Cain's an amazingly talented guy. When Journey broke up, we wrote some stuff together, and I went up a couple times and worked with him, and we were actually going to do a band at one point when Journey broke up, and then he wound up doing he wound up doing Bad English instead, but it was one of those things where just working with the guy was really cool. And also Jim Valance, who wrote all the Bryan Adams hits, and Aerosmith, he wrote with them too, and another same kind of thing. I mean, it's like those two guys both have this one thing in common, and it's a work ethic. They think nothing of putting in 10 or 12 hours a day on just working and recording and writing, and I think that's one of the things that I admired the most, was just watching them just keep at it, it's been cool. I think I've learned a lot from all the various people I've worked with through the years.
You've also worked with Alice Cooper as well, didn't you?
I sang on his record, his album, the one with the, what was it? One of the biggest albums. I'm trying to remember the name of it. Has Centipede and the ones from Wayne's World.
Feed My Frankenstein?
Hey Stupid. Hey Stupid's the album.
Hey Stupid, yeah, that was the one.
Yep.
Yeah. So
I had to drag that one out from the recesses of my brain.
You win, Adam. You win.
It's Alice Cooper.
He's
I know
actually
my
a pretty
stuff.
nice guy. He's sort of a normal guy. He's not as weird as people think.
He seems like a golf playing gentleman, isn't he? So.
Yep. He's a very good golfer, and He brought in live rattlesnakes into the session though to record them for that show, for that song, whichever the snake one.
I was going to say, is that just Alice's way of inspiring you to work harder on his album? Sort of.
You better sing in tune or else.
When we're not recording the podcast, we're going to ask some questions and find out where all the bodies are buried in Stan's rock and roll past. Because I mean, we're getting very sanitized stories here, you know, and that's great. But I want to hear about the tours, you know. So
I want to hear Paul Stanley stories.
Yeah, absolutely.
I suppose we could go there just in terms of touring. I mean, how much do you still do at this point? Is there going to be any stuff to obviously coincide with the release of the album next month and things like that?
Yeah. Well, I'm talking to a promoter in Europe, and they've been working to set up some shows. It probably will be. It's looking like it probably be after the holidays now. It's just one of those things they've been working on, setting some stuff up, and I'll just have to just tell people to go to the website to see what's happening. Stanbush.com. We'll have information about stuff upcoming. Also, I have a Twitter feed as well, so it's Stan_Bush.
Mm-hmm. Well, everybody can check out the links and stuff. I'll link to the website and things like that. So yeah, you've got a YouTube, a MySpace, a Twitter.
Yeah, all the links
YouTube.
are at larecords.com. Mm-hmm. There's on the splash page, all the links are right there.
So Stan, when you're booking your European tour, please don't forget to come to Dublin. I will buy you a pint.
Oh,
of whatever you want. It doesn't have to be alcohol, you know. It can be, you know, lemonade, but you know.
Yeah, just
I'd love to go there. I've been to England a few times.
If you could get over to England as well, forget Ireland. Don't worry about that.
No, don't forget Ireland.
But I mean, if you're doing a tour of Europe, then you know, let us know, because I would personally, you know, drive wherever I have to.
I'll be there in the front row making a disgrace out of myself, as I did at Boston. So.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to happen. We're talking, like I say, they're working on setting some things up, and just check the website.
Fantastic. And obviously the album, just to let everybody know, comes out September 15th, and you can get it. Is it going to be up on iTunes and things like that for people to grab on the day as well?
Yes, it will be. And like I say, they can go to stanbush.com or larecords.com.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Adam, have you got?
Yeah, Stan.
Yeah.
We had a quick discussion about it earlier on. You've done quite a lot of stuff that's ended up in TV shows and films and all that type of thing. There is a couple of questions I'd like to ask you about all this. And I'm going to start it off with the big burning question, the elephant in the room that I want to get out of the way. How did you get involved in Sailor Moon?
Oh, well, that was actually just more of a session where I was called to come and sing on the soundtrack. They were doing a Sailor Moon soundtrack, and so I just kind of got brought in to sing that track. She's Got the Power. Pretty catchy tune, actually.
Okay. Oh, it's a great tune.
I've got quite a vulgar question then about this stuff with session music, because you were saying earlier on, Stan, you brought it up that, you know, doing the ad campaigns or whatever, you know, it pays pretty well. Who does better out of it, the person who writes the jingles or the person who sings the jingles?
Actually, about the same. I think the singers get paid really well especially the union ones, you know, the ones that are in the union.
Yeah.
Which most of the nationals, you sing a Budweiser or whatever it is, it's going to be through the union. But you know, trying to think what other ones. Like I say, Toyota's been one of my big ones through the years. I did other commercials for several, some other beer commercials and things. I had always had the beer voice, you know.
Well, we've always said it, Stan, but we didn't want to bring it up to your face, you know. But okay, you're very good for answering such a vulgar question as well. Thank you very much.
Oh, no problem.
Well,
I had a question.
if we're going to ask vulgar questions, I'm going to go for a great big generic question for you, Stan.
Yes.
Who is Stan Bush's favourite band of all time? Who does Stan Bush listen to on a regular basis, just to unwind?
Wow. I mean, overall, I think probably my favorite band would be the Eagles. Mainly because of Don Henley's one of my favorite writers. He's amazing, and I mean, I've heard that stuff so much, but the songs are great, and I still love the Eagles, and of course Beatles and Led Zeppelin and other bands I've also loved through the years.
Well, since we've
it's
gone
hard to
from
pick one.
well, since we've gone from vulgar to generic, I think we'll go with a horrible one. If you could pinpoint any song that you've recorded over the years, this is the pick your favorite child question, I'm afraid. But if you could pick any one of your songs which you think you could point to and say definitively that is me at my best and the one that I am the most proud of, which one would you go for?
Wow, that is hard. I guess.
And don't be compelled to say The Touch Your Day.
I was going to say, yeah, don't think that you're talking to the robot guys today. You know,
Well,
genuinely.
No. Wow. It's hard to say. I mean, The Touch has obviously been the biggest career-making song for me, but I think probably my all-time favorite one, and the one that means the most to me emotionally and all that, is probably Southern Rain.
From the last album, yeah.
In this Life album, yeah.
Yeah.
An acoustic, kind of an acoustic unplugged thing, and it's because it goes back to my childhood growing up in the South, in Florida, and I miss the rain. It doesn't rain very much in LA.
This is why you should come to the UK, Stan.
Well,
We have actual weather.
You have actual weather.
Well,
Yeah,
I've
it's
got
like
one
somebody-
question.
Yeah.
Sorry, Stan.
Go ahead. No,
No, you go ahead. Sorry. Oh, we're talking over each other like unprofessionals. Okay, my final question was going to be something robot based, which is, Stan Bush, do you own any Transformers, and if so, which ones?
Wow. I do have a Bumblebee. It was the one that had the touch.
Oh
Bumblebee.
yeah.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah, so I have that.
Why not? Even you can't escape that song in your own home, Stan.
That's right.
Well, unless anybody's got anything else.
No, it's just general fawning from me and crawling and being sucking up. So I'm done really.
Yeah.
So-
At this point, it really is just Stan's. I love your albums. Thank you for coming on.
Oh, thank you so much. You guys have been great, and I want to thank all of you for your support, and that includes all the fans that may be listening. And thanks again, and be sure and go to stanbush.com and larecords.com, and really appreciate it. You guys are the greatest.
And we on behalf of everybody, just a big thank you as well for effectively molding a generation, because you with those movies, especially with the '86 movie and your work on there and things like that. I know it affected my taste in music and things like that.
Oh yeah, us too, and not just us. There's
Definitely.
There's people in the professional music field. Like, I know I've read that the lead singer of The Darkness, Justin Hawkins, is a big fan of yours. There's a band called the Galvatrons from Australia who are obviously going to be influenced by you. But it's definitely trickling down, Stan. So good job, man.
Well, thanks so much. I really appreciate everything, and you guys take care.
Yeah, you too, Stan. Thanks again.
Thank you.
All the best. All
Bye.
the best. Okay, bye-bye.
Welcome to take 2 of the outro. This is our second time of recording the outro. First of all, we just want to say thank you so much to Stan for taking the time to join us, and thanks to Michael for setting it all up and things like that. That was awesome, guys. That was epic.
Yes,
that was
and
something
the thank
different.
you and the heartfelt thanks to Stan Bush are the part from the original outro we recorded that we could still use.
Yeah, because
Something's happened.
yeah. Let's just clarify to the listening audiences. Nothing. The file didn't corrupt. If you're listening to this, we've just chosen. We just don't have the balls to release the.
So a pang of conscience rang through us.
Yeah.
First rule of Moonbase: whatever happens in Moonbase stays in Moonbase.
Calls were made, comments were left. We wouldn't.
It is. I mean, yeah. Russell Brand was fired for something similar. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah. So yeah, this is take two. But again, it's like thank you so much to Stan and awesome news about the album coming out on the 15th of September. And if you buy it on the day, you get a signed copy.
It's very, very exciting. I'm going to do it because without any shred of irony, I bloody love Stan Bush and his music.
Yeah.
And everything I've heard of this new album is absolutely fantastic. So
you're pretty
I'm having
jammy.
some of that.
Like imagine us 15 years ago saying, right, you're going to ring Stan Bush, have a chat with him, you're going to get to hear his album before it comes out. You know, it's we're pretty lucky guys.
Yeah.
I still didn't believe it this morning.
Yeah, there you go.
You had to pinch yourself. But yeah, but thank you to Stan for his time.
I was pinching myself all through the interview. Sorry about that.
No, it's fine. Don't worry. I didn't have to see it, so it's all good. So Adam, thank you very, very much for joining us.
Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity.
Oh,
it has been fantastic.
And Nick, thank you so much as well for just really giving us one hell of a laugh.
Yep.
Even if nobody else gets the joke.
Sure.
Yeah. Until next time, everybody. Catch you all later.
Bye. See you in court.
Take care.
How could it all be over when it's only just begun? Don't wanna wake up tomorrow and wonder what we've done. Don't give up on love.
You have been listening to the Old Oil House. Come visit us at www.oldoilhouse.co.uk. Join the forums